What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel. I am in New York City today and we are going luxury vintage shopping. I've done my research and I'm going to be taking you to some of the best luxury vintage and resale stores in NYC, and we're going to see what treasures and deals I can find. Let's go. Up first is Standing NYC. I had such a fun time shopping in this boutique. They have the most friendly and helpful staff and a very nice curated selection of seasonal pieces. In particular, I think this boutique has a great selection of everyday wearable vintage bags. Whether you are headed to work or going out for the night in NYC, they have a vintage bag for you. I think my favorite has to be this Tom Ford era Gucci bag. I mean, come on, imagine strutting into a work meeting with this. I'm such a sucker for a red bag, and this one is in excellent condition. They also had several Celine Macadam bags, which are always a great vintage option if you want to buy Celine that looks relevant but at a more affordable price point. I loved this big chunky clutch with the rich cognac leather. Over here we have some more Gucci for my monogram lovers, a functional tote, and a cute little going out baglet, but I particularly like this little leather embossed shoulder bag. I've actually never seen this style of Louis Vuitton tote before, but I love the mixture of the canvas and the leather. Something you can just throw over your shoulder with any outfit. It's a really cute and really functional bag at a relatively affordable price point, especially with Louis Vuitton and these prices these days. Another functional option for NYC is Prada nylon. This is a great all-weather kind of tote that looks relevant and modern while still being vintage. And if you know me, then you know I am a Fendi girl. I instantly spotted this vintage Mama Baguette, which if you don't know is making a huge comeback this season. I actually prefer the original vintage style compared to the reimagined ones that they have on the runways this season. This is perfect for that larger and slouchy bag trend that we are seeing right now. Ooh, and right here we have a vintage Dior oblique clutch. This is a classic and timeless piece in really good condition that is perfect for dinner or a night out. I really like the frame of this bag and the cute little clasp there at the top. Really, really chic. I think my other favorite from the bags is this brown Prada tote. I just love the yummy leather on this one and also the belt detail and the more subtle logo. This is something that you could carry around for every day, but also take it to work because it is a little bit more understated. I actually wasn't in the market for bags during this visit, so I decided to check out the ready-to-wear. They have a very wide selection of wearable pieces, and I must say, at very good prices for New York City. I easily see similar pieces marked up to maybe like double the price at other stores. The sales associate mentioned that a hot category for them right now is kind of like men's vintage preppy jackets. They have some here from YSL. We also have one here from Dior and also Ralph Lauren. Very East Coast preppy vibes for spring, something you could toss over jeans and a t-shirt or maybe even like a simple dress for the spring and summer. But you guys know I'm a sucker for a printed silk shirt, and they had so many cute ones at Standing. I love the groovy colors and print on this one from Etro Milano, and take a look at this super cute, whimsical badminton print from Escada. For more of an equestrian style, we also have this one from Hermes. I love the rich brown and gold tones on this one. This actually looks a lot like a scarf that they have for sale this season. Very, very similar equestrian print, but I stopped dead in my tracks when I spotted this loud and colorful Versace Trésor de la Mer blouse. This is so my vibe. It's a little bit oversized, but I love the blousey look and I decided to get this one. I actually recently wore this on a trip to Miami and it was perfect for more of like a beachy look. There's actually a matching skirt as well, but unfortunately that one was a little bit too big for me, so I decided to just get the blouse. I also tried on this beautiful Escada blazer. I love the buttons on this one. Very beautiful gold details and the beautiful bright red color. Unfortunately, this one was also just a little bit too big for me, so I decided to skip. In general, actually, they had a very nice selection of blazers and jackets. I love the fresh and preppy look of this one from Thom Browne. I had to try it on. It's very, very cute. Unfortunately, it was just a little bit too big, but I did appreciate the style. I like the white color, the texture, and the little red and blue detail there as well. And this right here might be one of the best priced Chanel jackets that I've ever seen. Expensive, but very well priced for Chanel, a very classic and flattering fit. However, for me, the colors are just like a little bit too dull. I usually go with either black or something much brighter and more vibrant, so I also decided to skip on this one. This boutique also had some really great leather and suede pieces. These leather pants were beautiful and I think very affordably priced. I usually see this kind of thing going for like $900 or more. I also like the look of this oversized leather vest, but what I ultimately decided to get is this gorgeous suede trench. Suede is so big right now, and this is such a good transitional piece between seasons. I love the oversized fit, the way it hung, makes it very comfy, but also great for layering over sweaters or a turtleneck as you're going in between seasons. I was also obsessed with this gorgeous checked Celine skirt. I love the warm tones of this piece and also the beautiful understated little buckle detail right there on the waist. I was so sad it was just a little too tight at the waist, so it didn't fall quite as perfectly as I wanted to make it a perfect fit, so sadly I did have to pass on this one. But what did fit beautifully is this vintage Burberry skirt. This is the perfect length for me that isn't too short, and I love the pleating and also the buckle detail, the little leather buckles there at the side, which are adjustable. This will be a great piece in the spring with some loafers, but I also can wear it in the fall and winter with a cute pair of boots and also maybe the suede trench that I got. If you are not in New York, make sure you check out No Standing NYC online because they do sell and ship off of their website. And also check out their Instagram. They regularly post Instagram exclusives and host weekly Instagram live sales to customers all over the country, selling a lot of these vintage pieces at incredible prices. Next up, I headed to Ina. This business has more than one location, but I headed to the one located in the heart of Soho. It's a little bit small, but don't be fooled. This shop is packed with a lot of good finds, and the passionate sales associates can help you find all of the good stuff. Where No Standing carried a lot of casual wear and everyday bags, I found that Ina Soho really excels in curating fashion-forward options for a slightly dressier look or an evening out in NYC. There are quite a few higher ticket luxury finds from brands like Chanel and Dior, mixed in with more affordable contemporary options from Rag & Bone, Frame, and Tory Burch, just to name a few. I was particularly impressed with their jacket and blazer selection. Right here we have a beautiful Chanel blazer. Take a look at that textured leather lapel and detailed buttons. Price is also in line with what I would expect given the materials and the details. We also have here a simpler style from Michael Kors collection in what looks like basically new condition. On the more affordable side, we have here a classic Gucci blazer with a vintage look for under $300, a really nice everyday staple. I also really liked this one from Balmain for a sharper, dressier look. But this was not enough for me. I had to try on this over-the-top, embellished cropped jacket from Escada. I thought this looked so cool and different, also very good quality. The jacket is made of a soft velvet with embroidered appliques and beading. I actually did end up getting this piece, and I call it my Flavor Flav jacket because of the clocks, and whenever I wear it I always get tons of compliments. But back to Chanel. I love the color of this tweed blazer, which also had a cute little built-in scarf, but I decided to try on this more affordable one from Dior, which was priced around $350. I thought this was nice, but I do think that the cropped styles suit my frame a little bit better, and the color of this one was a little bit too pumpkin patch for me. So with that in mind, I did try on this hot pink cropped Chanel jacket. A very classic fit with a cute crocheted edge, and also take a look at the little lions on the buttons. So sweet. This was cute, but I think for the price of Chanel jackets these days, they really need to be the perfect fit and color to be worth it. I also tried on this one in the lighter pink. I think this one was my favorite because it just looked so casual and cutesy and almost Barbie-like. I did decide to pass because I would prefer a more vibrant color, but this is the kind of thing that I think Ina is really great at curating. Next, let's take a look at the dresses. I have a good amount of weddings and events this year, so I was on the lookout for some dressier additions to my wardrobe. It was a little bit too big, but I loved the bougie print of this Dolce & Gabbana dress. What did fit me, however, was this beautiful tailored dress by Alexander McQueen. I love this dress. I've always wanted something like this from McQueen, but just haven't been able to find anything for the price or that suited me. The waist is giving. The shoulders are giving. I am essentially flat-chested and this dress is giving me shape. Of course I bought this. By the way, the sales associate at this store was so fun and helpful. He pulled a ton of great pieces for me, including this gorgeous YSL dress. I don't think I ever would have spotted this on my own because it didn't have a lot of hanger appeal, but I love the shoulder pads on this one and the draping of the skirt. It doesn't look like much in the store lighting, but I recently wore this to a friend's wedding and it was a chic and comfortable outfit, especially for the chillier months. I liked that Ina also had some funkier pieces and interesting fabrics. This right here is a leather python embossed Roberto Cavalli fringe dress. So cool. I love the contrast of the burnt orange and the python print. The sales associate also showed me this knit Missoni long cardigan, which I think is light enough to work for all year round. To go with the dressier theme of the curation, I think that Ina also has a very nice selection of heels. Right here I'm checking out a pair of classic Manolos and also some interesting camo print platform heels from Prada. And now that I'm watching this footage back, I kind of wish that I had tried on these glamorous vintage looking Balmain heels. And finally, while I didn't really look at most of the handbags in this boutique, the sales associate showed me this epic vintage Lady Dior bag in the exotic leather. I loved the look and color of this bag. A little out of my price range at $15,000, but this is what I love about this boutique. They have such a good range of prices with some archival stunners to satisfy the customer who is looking for something quite special. Next, we are headed uptown to Michael's Luxury Consignment. Michael's is a family-owned NYC institution doing business since 1954. I loved the very relaxing and friendly vibe of this store, a little bit quieter than the boutiques downtown and with a true neighborhood feel. I do think that this Upper East Side location caters to a slightly more mature customer with fewer party dresses and mini skirts and more elegant coats, furs, scarves, and sophisticated finds for every day. First up are the bags. I thought that Michael's had a really nice selection of cute and wearable handbags. I love this suede fringe YSL bag, very on trend for right now, but I just wish that the condition of this one was a little bit better. We also have here another beautiful large Lady Dior bag. I thought this one was in great condition, but a little bit overpriced for what I see on the pre-loved market. However, there are some good deals at Michael's. Right here is a leather Chanel tote marked down to only $1,000, which, let's face it, is pretty good for Chanel these days. On the more affordable side, I spotted this cute bright green Ferragamo bag and also a small Fendi Mama baguette. I think my favorite bag was this vintage Louis Vuitton Ellipse, I believe this style is called. However, I also think that this was priced a little high for what I see for this style from online resellers. Michael's had a beautiful selection of Hermes scarves and also designer shoes. I do think that if you have a popular size, you will probably have to check more regularly for new styles because there were some really cute options, but sadly a little bit too big or small for my feet. These Prada heels in particular I thought were so interesting and would go really great with a little black dress. I was particularly interested in checking out their jacket selection since I saw they had a lovely curation of high-end options from Chanel, YSL, Gucci, and more. I really liked this monogram mesh one from Gucci. I did notice that the more modern pieces like this one were priced at about 30 to 50% off retail, while the more vintage pieces are mostly under $1,000 or $500, just depending on the style. For example, this little Prada jacket for $400. I loved the preppy and summery look of this Chanel blazer, which had been marked down to a pretty good price for Chanel, that is. I really liked the buttons on this one, and if you look closely, you can see that the lining and the edging of the jacket is a wonderful striped silk. bulk. Sadly, I felt like this jacket was just a little bit too big for me to justify the price. Right here is a full matching Gucci suit. Pretty well priced as well for 2 pieces, I might add. I was also drawn to the details of this tweed Balmain jacket. This has a sparkly fringe detail and is embellished with rhinestones and little pearls. And I guess I'm really into this red, white, and blue combo on this trip because I also tried this vintage Prada jacket. I love a good tweed and the contrasting lapel of this one. Sadly, a lot of the jackets were too big on me. Otherwise, I would have snatched this up. Here is another classic jacket from Gucci. This didn't look vintage to me, but it was priced at under $400. I also loved this leather Roberto Cavalli blouse with the little hook and eye detail. I don't know why I didn't try this on. This definitely looks like something that I would wear, and the price isn't too bad as well. But I did try on this vintage Saint Laurent blazer. I was drawn to the deep green color with the contrast of the little white specks from the tweed. I also really like the corduroy collar on this one. Sadly, also too big for me. Right here we have a leather Max Mara blazer. This one actually fit me really well. I just wasn't too keen on the color for me. I like the metallic finish, but not so much the undertone, although it is very high quality and also, I think, well priced. Next, I tried on another tweed Chanel jacket. I just can't help myself, guys, okay? There was something about this whimsical mixture of Pepto-Bismol pink, green, brown, yellow, and orange that, I don't know, it just spoke to me. I don't think these colors are very flattering for me, but the jacket was still cute. And I specifically want to show you the lovely satin camellia printed lining, which just screams spring to me. Next up, the wonderful sales associate at Michaels showed me this amazing YSL coat. The quality of this is unreal. If it wasn't for the fact that I no longer live in a cold weather state and definitely don't need any more coats, I might have considered getting this because it was that good. It was actually so warm and heavy. And while it was way too small for any of us in the store to squeeze into, I also have to show you this epic Louis Vuitton coat. I believe this is a mixture of fox, mink, and then astrakhan right there on the front of the piece. And finally, while I know I said I wasn't shopping for coats, I had to try on this vintage one from Dior. This one was priced at under $500. And similarly, if I lived in New York and this had been one size smaller, this coat would have been mine. I love the classic silhouette, and I am just a sucker for a bow necktie. Thank you so much to all of the boutiques featured in this video for hosting me in their stores and making this such a fun shopping experience. I will leave all of their details down below in the description box in case you want to check out their online shops or pay them a visit next time you're in NYC. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, or better yet, check out my vintage shopping series. Up next, we are going shopping at the best vintage shops in Paris. I'll see you there.